Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. I'm hoping the lighting isn't weird because I am filming this at 7:30 a.m. This is like my normal lighting for when I get ready for work. Josh is currently out of the country, so I can film a little earlier than I normally can. Typically, he is like asleep till 8 or 9 before he gets up for his job. So it's interesting filming this early. It's actually feels pretty nice so I can get a head start on the day. I'm a morning person, so I love this kind of stuff. But you are here because you saw the title. We are ready for a long overdue update on my Pan That palette that I have been working on forever, it seems like. So I have been panning this sucker since October 2020, and I thought I'll give myself a head start for 2021. I'll get this palette done by the end of last year. She's still here. So I haven't updated this project since July, so we're going to see some sizable changes in this palette. I did take progress pictures from July. I just looked at my last progress pictures. Plus, I actually did some update photos on my phone when I was making goals in the shades in this. Now, I don't have any uses anymore. I kind of ditched that tracking method within the past few months, but I do have pictures of the changes that these shades have made over the course of the past couple months. First things first, I'm gonna run through the slideshow of the palette. Now, there's gonna be dates down here on the pictures as well, because I was panning this I'm panning this, but the way I was doing my updates before throughout 2021 was quarterly updates. So 3 months of progress, I would take a picture and share my progress that way. Wasn't making that much progress in the palette in that year doing it that way. I would forget about this palette for like a month and a half. And then as I approached or was done with my updates, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to use the palette for like a week. And then I basically only would use the palette twice a week for like the 3 months. So this year, 2022, I decided I'm going to do monthly updates now. I made sizable changes throughout this year versus what I did prior to panning this palette this year. Regardless, we're going to go through the slideshow of the usage starting from October 2020, moving all the way to the last like full progress picture I have is from July 2022. And this is what subculture is currently looking like today. And I've made some solid changes. I'm hoping you can see maybe three major changes between my prior update and where we are now. Namely, I don't know if I had updated previously on this palette when I had initially finished Mercury, this shade here. I used this one in my brows. I mixed it with a little bit of All Star here. I finished All Star separately, but I did mix a little bit of Mercury with All Star to kind of make my brow color when I had more red hair. I now currently have more pink hair. So I was mixing these two together to kind of create a more appropriate brow shade for when I had red hair. Now I'm just not using any brow product. I have very thick brows, so I really don't need anything other than a brow gel. So I just kind of negated that filling my brow step in my makeup routine. So I don't really have a necessity for it. So I was happy to get those finished off relatively quickly. Could not tell you how many uses in total because again, I stopped counting. Shame on me, but I did stop counting these shades. The next sizable change, I don't know if you can tell, between when I updated, very roughly updated my Pan That palette in a Get Ready With Me when I started coming back on YouTube. I will link it up here. But there was actually some shade of this left. This was New Wave in the pan here. Now, in a couple videos that you've already seen, you would have seen some like loose powder from New Wave. It was in the top right corner of the pan. It migrated away from the pan and it was just kind of floating loose inside of the pan. So rather than like tapping into like a pressed chunk of eyeshadow, I just crumbled it up and like had it loose in this pan and was able to finish it off that way. I ended up using it as like kind of all over as a eyeshadow base after I put my primer on, as well as a blush too. So I was able to multitask that product on 2 different areas on my face. First shade that I remember finishing up this month though was All Star, and there wasn't that much in All Star. It was another one that it crumpled on to the pan. I'll have a picture of like what All Star looked at like at my last update. All Star was looking pretty sad. It was just like the tiniest little bit in the corner. Ended up finishing it off again in my brows for the most part, but I did use it as an eye base as well, mostly as an outer corner kind of shade. Finished that off. Destiny had a lot more product in this bottom right hand corner. There was a lot more product kind of meeting up to like halfway on the product. Low goal was to completely clear out that half. Again, I kind of set that up for myself like on the back burner or like behind the scenes because I haven't been here in forever. But I didn't meet that goal, but I made some really solid progress on this. How I've been predominantly using Destiny is mostly as an outer corner shade and then like on my lower lash line. That is predominantly how I've been getting the use on it, because when I do use Destiny as like kind of like what I'm doing today with New Wave, I have it all over my lid, blended out. When I do that with Destiny, it sometimes can be a little bit too dark, but putting some of those like super special like Clionadh Cosmetics super shifty shades on top make it look beautiful. I have Unearthly Cosmetic I have 2 of their like duochrome, multi-chrome palettes. Those look beautiful on top of like these matte shades. So I'm going to foresee myself getting more use out of this, but I think that Destiny is something that I'm going to finish off in like the spring months of the year rather than kind of focusing on it right now. These 2 shades that are left are definitely like more springtime to me and then like more fall time to me. So I'm going to try to finish these off, and I have been doing a good job with getting progress in them, but I'm not sure when I will be able to finish Destiny off. Now, the other shade I have is Edge right down here. So Edge and New Wave, that one that I had finished off previously, were some of the shades that I use in like the same functionality. Is that a word? I use them in the same function. So I didn't have like a point to having 2 of them. One was just slightly more orange, one is slightly more yellow. And even when this one's more of a mustard color, it almost does look like a really soft brown when it's kind of blended off all over the lid. I've been able to now kind of use it for some more of the neutral eye looks that I'm gravitating more towards as we approach the cooler time of the year. Winter here in Michigan, I do tend to reach for neutrals a little bit more often. In fact, I don't know if you can tell, but I do actually have New Wave on as my base shade on my lid today. I have a brighter yellow blending it out into the crease. I actually have the shade. Let me just show you. Then I took my Morphe Sour Patch Kid palette and I ended up taking this bright yellow shade, blending it out up and out for the mustard, just to like reinforce a little bit of the yellow. I ended up taking the matte cream from this palette as well and just kind of helping assist the blend of that shade out. Then I went in with my Fantasy Cosmetica Druid palette, and I went in with these 2 neutral shades, Beartooth here and Root here. Root is the outer corner, Beartooth is my mobile lid shade. So I really enjoyed that. I think I can get a lot of really great use out of this combination over the next couple months, especially as I get closer to Christmas time. I'll want to wear probably red lips versus like this kind of orangey tone lip. I am not really planning on making a lot more progress on these two shades, but I will eventually update you when I do finish or like finish a shade, make sizable progress. Maybe I will start doing like quarterly updates just on the pan that palette, or if I start pan those eyeshadows again, I can update you guys in that, or like my year-long project pan again if I decide to do a year-long project pan. I really haven't decided what 2023 is going to look like. It's going to be different on my channel, but I'm going to have some of the same content and new content. Just I've been getting a little burnt out with my content, which is why I took such a long hiatus, but I'm back. I am ready to finish some low-hanging fruit in my collection. Let me know, would you like more like standalone videos for Pan That Palette updates? They'd be very short and sweet, to the point, like probably under 15 minutes. I know this one right now is currently 15 minutes. I'm sure I can get this edited down. Or if you'd like to see them incorporated into other videos that I will have throughout the year, I'll figure out which ones I want to put into update this guy on. But that is really it for my progress on my Subculture palette for December 2022. I don't know. Just let me know any looks too that you may pair with these two shades, any color combinations. Anyway, that is it. That is absolutely everything I have to talk about with Subculture. She is looking very used. One thing I do want to say is look how clean underneath that sticker is versus how disgusting the rest of the palette is. Man, she is been through the ringer. She has like stains on her. She's ripped. I've had to glue this down like recently. I'm ready to get this out of my collection. Let me know if you think I can do it sometime next year. I don't know. I just think Pan That Palette's not for me. And I think it took me trying to finish a palette and beginning to finish a palette to really understand that it's not my cup of tea. Thank you guys so much for watching my Pan That Palette update to wrap up the end of 2020. I hope you guys are staying healthy, sane, and safe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!